baby.
I would not want to eat my toast in the bathroom while my...
Is that what he's... Oh, yeah, he's eating... Ew, don't put the toast down on the toilet seat. And then he puts his hand right there in his, like, crotch area.
Here, put some crotch water on it. So, what are we going to talk about?
Hit me.
Hit me.
Hit me.
I watched the whole movie and I still don't get the title.
I think it did have an alternate title. It was the ice cream dimension.
Is that real?
It said it.
Where?
It said it on Wikipedia.
Okay. Fair enough. ChatGPT told me.
Okay, so Hit Me is a 1996 American movie. It's based on a 50s crime novel called A Swell-Looking Babe by Jim Thompson. He was, I believe, a pretty prolific crime noir writer. It follows the story of a bellhop named Sonny.
He's played by Elias Koteas, who you'll have seen in a couple of things.
He's been in a bunch of TV.
Yeah, he was in Sopranos.
One episode.
Yeah, one episode. But he's also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990. He's in Thin Red Line. He's in Zodiac. I remember him most from David Cronenberg's Crash. He's in that movie.
Go.
And that's kind of along the same lines as this film in terms of the weird nature of it.
It's definitely got a surreal, dreamy quality.
It starts with a quote from Henry David Thoreau: "The mass of men lead quiet lives of desperation." And when the movie starts, it just goes through his day-to-day existence.
Yeah, but I like the way that it's been done. I can't tell what this decor is doing.
It's quite interesting, isn't it?
So far, I like this.
It has a good style to it.
It's like the mundane side of hotel life. I like the way that it's used, the wide-angle lenses, and the character, Sonny, he sort of comes across as just like a part of the decor. Really gives a sense of the smallness that he's feeling, the insignificance. On one particular night, he delivers a room service order to this woman who is clearly having some kind of emotional episode. And she's got streaks of makeup running down her face and she's crying.
He shows up at the door and then he does this weird little dance.
It's like he's psyching himself up. He kind of punches the air, and I started getting Travis Bickle vibes.
Huh? So he goes into this room and runs into this woman. Her name's Monique Roux or Rouge.
Roux?
Roux.
She says she's from Paris.
I'm from Paris. Paris. Well, these days I'm from Seattle.
I can't understand a word she's saying.
Can't understand ya.
She's sitting there with this little mini statue of the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, it's like a little music box Eiffel Tower thing with some lights on it. It looks like something out of a Courtney Love music video. Heroin chic, grunge, 90s.
She grabs a steak knife from his trolley.
So he's trying to get her to sign the check, and she comes up to him, and I think he thinks that she's going to sign it, and she grabs a knife and just calmly walks into the bathroom.
Sorry, I had a weird wheezy laugh there. That was, oh my god.
Oh, it's that, you know, something's up.
That was too funny.
And then he hears her cry out, and when he goes into the bathroom, he sees that she's cut her wrists.
Holy shit!
So he goes to call the paramedics and she says, please don't, tells him not to, and he instead uses the first aid kit to patch her up.
I'm a model, actually. In Seattle.
There's a lot of models over on Pacific Avenue. I can tell you one thing, most of those girls ain't having too many pictures taken.
You think I'm that kind? Well, go fuck yourself!
Ah, the French.
Ah, the French.
Ah, the French.
There you go, put that clip in.
Ah.
You're gonna come back.
All you gotta do is pick up the phone and call downstairs, and I'm right up here.
Okay.
So he leaves her in there to recover.
Yeah, that's when we see him go back to his house. And his house that he lives in is disgusting.
It's like Seven meets Gummo.
Yeah, the opening bit of Seven where they walk into that overweight guy's apartment. It's like that, except with the lights turned on.
What happens to you if you eat like a pig?
Somebody is going to have to bury me.
He lives with his older brother, and his brother lives with a disability. He's very childlike.
You got our last notice in the mail.
Yes, certainly. I've received your urgent communication.
There's a bit in the kitchen where he's on the phone with social services, and they're telling him that you need to put your brother in a foster home, and he doesn't want to do that.
Why do you expect me to respond when you shout at me all the time?
That is no way to speak to social services, Mr. Rose.
He's really reluctant to accept help with the care of his brother.
The brother himself also says, you should put me in a home because that's where all the ice cream is.
You should send me to foster care. That's where they make all the ice cream.
It's like every bit of the world is sort of telling him that he needs to put his brother in a home, but he doesn't want to.
The novel that this movie is based on was written in the 50s, and the state of psychiatric care back then was horrific.
Ah, that makes more sense. When you update the period to the 90s, it changes a little bit.
In the context of the original period that it was written for, makes perfect sense that Sonny wouldn't want his brother to end up in one of those places. I really think he should, because he hasn't succeeded in caring for his brother. He lives in squalor, and he's unhealthy, and he can't take care of himself. I would not want to eat my toast in the bathroom while my...
Is that what he's... Oh yeah, he's eating... Ew, don't put the toast down on the toilet seat. And then he puts his hand right there in his, like, crotch area.
Here, put some crotch water on it.
Pull the plug.
No!
Hey, wait a second. Put a towel down.
I don't want to go down the drain. Down the drain.
So that's his little lot in life. This Monique woman, to him, represents an alternative. I think he's already smitten by her.
Maybe they connect on a level of both being sad.
Like a kind of a kindred spirits type thing.
To dump me at bus station.
I literally cannot understand her.
A couple of bucks. No job.
It's like the mic isn't picking her up.
Very hard to understand because she's got an accent and then her audio is muffled as hell.
I should have had a scream the other night.
What? She's like a low talker from Seinfeld.
What's that?
Excuse me? Yeah.
He runs into this guy called Cougar,
Cougar, how you doing?
played by Kevin J. O'Connor. He's an actor that I've seen in a couple of things. He's Benny in The Mummy. He's Joey in Deep Rising, for those who've seen that. And he's also in There Will Be Blood and The Master. So he plays this character called Cougar, who is sort of a bully that works in the hotel as an enforcer for management. He pushes Sonny up against a wall and grabs his genitals and...
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga.
Krav Maga!
Quit going for my groin!
No groin, no Krav Maga.
Ow, 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 ow.
Hello, groin.
Come in.
The management pull him in and they refer to the fact that he has called prostitutes to the hotel for other people. And he says, well, they seemed lonely.
But the men, they looked lonely. You know,
And they tell him he's on his last legs.
Young man, you're on your last legs.
He's been told no interactions with guests, no
sex in hotel
third
rooms.
strike, you're out.
Yep.
My last legs? I've got legs up your ass!
So after that, he meets Dell, who is his friend who used to work there with him as a bellhop. When we first see him, he says, no more bellhop.
No more bellhop.
Oh man, I miss you around here, Del.
It's always temporary.
So he's quit and he's not working there anymore. He says, I don't want to die in a bellhop uniform.
I work for Lenny Ish now.
You what?
I wipe my ass with money.
He tells him about the fact that he's in the hotel to play a poker game. He's being staked by this guy called Lenny Ish.
Shilling for Ish. He's staking me.
Who all we really know is that he's a rich guy that is organizing a poker game in the hotel.
Yeah.
So Monique calls him up to her room to ask for stationery. He brings her a phone book.
I didn't ask for any phone book. I rang them for stationery.
Stationary.
There's no stationery in this drawer.
So she's tempting him and trying to seduce him.
No! I can't do this.
He leaves at one point to go back to the elevator. And there's a shot that I quite like where the elevator door opens and he sees this old janitor and it's like he sees his future. I do like that it's not telling the story overtly.
Well, the first night we see him go home to his squalid house, he crawls into bed and he's going, I'm 31, I'm 31.
I'm 31. 31.
Sometimes it's very on the nose, but that shot of the elevator where he sees the janitor I thought was quite good. It's a moment where he's about to walk away and do the right thing, and he decides that he doesn't want to turn into this old janitor and not have experienced anything in his life. So it gives him a motivation to make the change. He goes back into a room and they do it on the floor.
After they do it on the floor, there's this moment where he's like clearly thinking that was good, right? And she starts to sort of back away from him. She stands up and
It sounds like a kettle.
there's a bunch of added sound effects, like the sound of a kettle reaching its boiling point is like the pressure is on.
Yeah, and then what does he do?
That makes everything better.
That makes everything better. People will stop hearing the screaming.
What's going on? Did someone scream?
He then runs into Dell, who's in the room next door.
Dell helps him get out of it. He kind of makes it sound like someone had seen a rodent.
There is no mouse. No rodent of any kind.
He says, I'll take care of it. This is my problem, or I did this.
This is my fuck up. Never happened. Okay. Never happened.
What he says is that I'll tell Cougar about this, we'll get her out of here, fix everything up for you, and you then see a sequence where he's in the elevator. And Cougar and Dell march her out of the hotel. So Dell and Sonny are sitting in this scrapyard in a burnt out car. It looks like a bug or something. And Dell tells him that Monique is going to accuse him of rape.
If our little honey says a couple of words, we're all gonna pop.
I can't go to jail, man.
And basically they have to pay her off. Otherwise, she's going to go to the cops.
She doesn't have any problems that 4 or 5 grand would fail to relieve. In fact, she said something to that effect.
What, that she would let it slide for 4 grand?
More like 5.
He tells Sonny the way to do it is to rob the poker game.
Oh, I robbed Lenny Ish?
700 grand.
They'll plan the robbery all together and they'll work with Cougar to do it. And that Sonny's going to get 10%.
10%.
So the plan is that the poker players are all going to put their money and valuables into safety deposit boxes in the reception. And Sonny will have the keys to access them. Cougar and Dell are going to rob them with guns. And Sonny is going to use the keys to open all the safety deposit boxes and get away.
You get the right house keys for the right boxes. And you get them all lined up so you can open them in less than 2 minutes.
He tells them that Cougar is going to tie them up and spray them with laughing gas.
He takes the keys, he ties them up, sprays them with laughing gas. I don't know.
It's weird. But anyway, he accepts that.
You got this in a plan, man. I mean, this is not just some bullshit.
So that's the plan. It seems flimsy.
Are we partners?
Yeah. I'm in.
After that, Sonny delivers a plate of food to Lenny Ish, played by Philip Baker Hall, who is basically in almost every Paul Thomas Anderson film through the 90s. He's also in Talented Mr. Ripley and Dogville and The Truman Show. He's sitting and doing cocaine and stargazing at the same time. He's looking through a telescope while snorting coke, and then when Sonny walks in, he tells him to do a hit.
Do a hit.
And he initially says no, and he says, do a hit. And he goes, all right. And then he tells him to look through the telescope.
Take a peek.
Which he does, and he sees a vision of Monique. So I guess he's seeing what he really wants in life. And that's when Monique calls up Sonny on the phone to meet him. She explains that Dell actually set up the entire situation with her in order to entrap him in the plot of robbing the poker game.
He paid you to fuck me.
He paid me to scream.
But then he explains again to her later that this poker thing is going down, and she seems surprised by it.
Me, Dell, and Cougar are gonna rob the poker tournament. And this asswipe bellhop is not gonna get screwed out of his share.
I would say she's working with Dell and Cougar, but not with Lenny Ish.
Okay. Well, Sonny says to her, okay, I will get this money and we will flee to Paris together. And then Sonny recruits his brother.
Now, you see that door? Tiny door there? That is the most important door, Leroy.
Wow, I wonder if this guy's gonna screw it up.
Yeah.
Lenny, the brother, is gonna show up with a car and take the money and drive off with it.
I give you the satchel. Where do you go?
Home.
Now, you can do it, brother. Hey?
I'm going to help you.
Uh-oh. Methinks you won't.
He's gonna see an ice cream truck and he's gonna drive after it.
Oh, you're so screwed, buddy. You're gonna get screwed 7 ways from Sunday.
I bet $500 he's gonna see an ice cream truck and he's gonna follow it.
You're on. I bet it's a donut truck. Well, but neither one of us bets that he's not gonna screw it up.
Just be careful though, because he did mention ice cream at the beginning.
No, it's gonna be ice cream truck, you're right. But it all relies on the two people that Sonny's working with in reception, that they're gonna go and get ice cream.
Bascomb and Billy go to lunch at Conrad's every night at 2. You're alone by 2:15.
And the first problem is that he tells the other two people that work at reception to go out, and one of the guys says, I've changed my diet.
You go with Bascomb when he goes to lunch. You going to Conrad's, right?
No. Changing my diet.
He starts freaking out and going, you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yogurt, 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 yogurt! Don't you realize that that slimy, healthy glue is just ruining our country, guys?
But they won't budge. He ends up just trying to open up the safety deposit boxes while they're still there, and they're like, what are you doing?
Get out of there.
You get out of here, man.
Dell and Cougar come down into the lobby.
Hand those keys to Sonny. Move, come on!
He knocked my arm!
Jesus! Bascomb, get in there, sort it out, and open those fucking boxes! Don't shut that door!
And Sonny has locked himself into the safety deposit box area with Bascomb.
For a long time, I thought that his supervisor's name was Baskin.
Yeah.
Turns out it's Bascomb.
Bascomb, but that's pretty close to Baskin Robbins.
Bascomb, did you shut that door? What do you want me to do first? Just go, open the boxes. We're running late.
So they have to rush to get all the keys matched up with the safety deposit boxes. Cougar loses his patience and shoots both of the other people in reception. He's a living witness. So they tell Sonny, you've got to kill him.
Stop him! He's gotta go!
They give him the gun, and he doesn't look, he just points it behind himself and does it. Cougar and Del then run away, and Sonny comes out of the safety deposit box area, and he actually manages to hand the money off to his brother.
Go! 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 Oh!
I thought the brother was going to be the weak point. Ironically, all of that part of the plan goes off without a hitch. And that's when we go to the police station the next day, and we finally meet William H. Macy. He's the cop who grills him and keeps reading the last meals of prisoners who were executed.
You know about Steve Moran? He had unleavened bread for his last meal. John Spinkelink just had cigarettes and Java boys.
He's just trying to intimidate him, but there's nothing they can really hold him with, so he leaves the next day and gets into a cab with Monique.
It's here, and I never opened it.
Oh my god, she is useless. She is completely useless. Can't understand a single thing that she has said the entire movie. Absolutely nothing.
They go home to his squalor house. There's a sense that she's like, oh, okay, I didn't realize you lived in shit.
Ah, fuck, there's no beer.
She says more in that look than she probably does in any other moment in the film.
Who got killed, Sonny?
She's got kids.
Who got killed? I think Sonny's plan is to take the brother with them to Paris, which you're wondering if she's going to double-cross him at any point. But Del calls him in reception and tells him that Monique is going to go to the police anyway unless they give her all the money.
Monique's been a real bitch about it, man. She wants your whole share.
Yeah, he knows that's crap because she's with him. So he knows that they're going to betray him. So he ends up deciding to go to the scrapyard and leave their share in the trunk of a car. He's supposed to leave all of it.
Bellhop!
Once they start counting the money, he's forced to tell them it's not all there.
It's not all there.
They start to now tell him that she's gonna go to the cops. She's a crazy nymphomaniac.
Remember, there's a third party.
A loose goose.
Monique.
Actually, she's pretty tight, and she tastes more like a tuna.
Shut up, please.
I like pussy.
And that's when he breaks and finally screams and says,
Bullshit! She's been with me since the start of this! Why can't we just be honest?
Why can't we be dead?
Do you like my pussy? How does it taste?
Okay, I understood that.
yeah, finally you speak up, lady. Del grabs the money, and then they chase Del down the street.
Shit.
She's just running and shooting recklessly.
In heels.
Yeah. What on earth?
Oh, she got him.
She's pretty good with that hooker gun. I guess the idea is that two very quiet and abused people finally snap and take out all of their anger. They take the money and go back to Squalor House.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart, a hand to hold on to. Everywhere you look.
And lie down on the couch next to Leroy.
They're exhausted. They've been out all night shooting.
Shooting Cougar, shooting Del. Leroy says,
"There's a man here."
And this random guy that we've never seen before shows up with a shotgun. Lenny Ish then shows up, and it's clear that he's Lenny Ish's goon.
So, going somewhere?
Lenny Ish tells Sonny that the whole poker game was an inside job to begin with, and that Lenny Ish was actually the one planning to steal from everybody else. Cougar and Dale were going to kick all the money up to Lenny, and the person who really was going to get screwed in all of this completely was always going to be Sonny.
And this, I hope, is the money brought by the wind, right at my feet.
So they hand a portion of the money over to Lenny, and Lenny asks him, do I have to count it?
Do I need to count it?
Sonny gives Monique this kind of look of, should I do it, should I not? She clearly gives him a look that suggests maybe that he shouldn't, and then he ends up forking over his 10% of the money anyway.
That's the 10%.
At that point, Monique loses all respect for Sonny. And maybe leaves because of the fact that there isn't any money left anyway.
Yeah.
So she just walks out of his life, and that's the end of her.
Yep. Sonny's back to square one, except that he's shot and killed at least 2 people now.
3. Well, no. Monique shot Cougar.
Pussy!
Yeah, but he's shot Bascomb. He shot his friend, Dell. So I think he's even more of a nervous wreck than he ever was to begin with.
Well, after that, there is a final scene. I think the implication is that he might take Leroy to a foster home, because there's this bit where they're in the car together and the rain suddenly stops. Leroy says, are we going to go to the place with all the toys?
Is it outer space?
And then it just ends on this really depressing fading out shot of Leroy and Sonny in the car together, and Leroy's just making weird noises.
Yeah, look, I just really think it had so much potential.
Yeah.
Really?
It's not a cynically made film in terms of trying to be like every other movie. So
Yeah.
I will give it that. The style of it reminded me probably more than anything of like 12 Monkeys.
The cinema of the grotesque.
Yeah, grotesque, warped loneliness. The other thing it reminded me of was Bad Boy Bubby.
You're a sexy woman, Flo.
Absolutely. It was so Bad Boy Bubby meets Gummo.
What are you doing, lifting weights? I'm lifting. You're gonna stunt your growth with those things. You're gonna get peg leg shoulders and pinched neck nerves.
Even, I would say, Death in Brunswick.
100%.
I don't feel like that genre ever took off. It remained an indie style that never had any sort of mainstream success.
I don't know, I just couldn't help thinking of Scanner Darkly, because it's
Yeah.
sort of someone's internal emotional struggle as their motivation. Well, I thought Koteas' performance was really good.
He's really good in it. I think all the actors are quite good in it.
Yeah, but Laure Marsac. Monique.
Yeah.
Problems, and I think it's partly her not projecting her voice and partly the director not fixing it.
He told me 10 free days at the Stillwell Hotel and $1,000 for tips to be a hostess in his friend's gambling tournament.
I mean, she fits the part in terms of being this sort of misanthropic French girl.
That was really trendy in the 90s.
Yeah, she seems like a character that could have been in a Luc Besson film. Lady with a lot of potential, but a lot of sadness that envelops her. And I don't really get the obsession with Paris. That seems kind of cliche. And, you know, the depression of the film.
There's no break from it.
I thought it was going to go in like Mice and Men territory. If he was going to like kill his brother and walk away or something. Although I will say, when he needed his brother to do something.
His brother delivered.
He delivered. I think it's a good concept, but I don't think it's realized very well.
It had problems, production issues.
I think it's pulling a lot of different inspirations together, which I think could have been a little more palatable, but I think the weirdness of it is probably the thing that sticks with you the most. It's much longer than it probably needs to be. It spends a long time wallowing in his misery, and Dell explains to him over and over again, your life is terrible, you should do this.
How much longer are you gonna push that cart up and down those hallways?
I still don't understand why it's called Hit Me.
Hit me.
I would have called this movie like The Bellhop or something.
Le Bellhop.
Le Bellhop. Le Bellhop, Le Crime. And William H. Macy, blink and you'll miss him. I'm glad he got a little bit of money, I suppose. But anyway, that's Hit Me.